So, guys, thank you for joining in today. Um we are conducting this session for all the professionals and the graduates of SBE who would want to get into the pathway for MRICS, especially into the valuation. So, we have invited Ayush Gairola with today, so that he could actually share his journey and experience while he has graduated from RICS and also has achieved a qualification, the chartered qualification MRICS. So welcome, Ayush.
Hello, sir.
Guys, thank you for joining in. We have Ayush with us. He is currently working with Reliant Surveyors in Dubai, and prior to this, he was working with Punjab, PNB Housing Finance for nearly 2 years. And he's a graduate from RICS from CPM stream 16-18 batch. So welcome, Ayush, and thank you for sharing your time with us. We are glad that you're joining us today and sharing your experience and journey, how you graduated, what helped, what worked with you, and uh, you know uh, the details about your qualification, being a in a valuation pathway. So welcome.
Thank you for having me, sir.
Right. So
Am I audible? Yeah. So is
yes, you
the
are.
view visual okay, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So if I may request you to, if you could actually brief us about your, background, probably, start with the education and when once you graduated, how did it went for you till you achieved your qualification?
Surely, sir. Surely. From the start, if I say my bachelor's is in civil engineering, so I was a 16 pass out. So I like took on with MBA like without any experience. So I had a very diverse experience in MBA. Like I came to know about different fields of like where a civil engineer can go. So that enabled me to I would say diversify into valuation like in the final showdown. So what the MBA helped me into going into valuations and so the after the if I say the my initial interest which went on so my first job was as a regional valuer for 6 months in a valuation company in I was looking after Uttar Pradesh and some parts of Uttarakhand as well. So that was my first, I would say, valuation job officially. So after that, I moved on into PNB housing, where I got a very diverse exposure, I would say, about the banking system, how the mortgage system works, because that is like retail valuations and company valuations for secured lending. That is one of the major fields in our like major portfolios in valuation. That is some like where the big money is for valuation companies in India. So that made me understand how the bank works internally with the valuation field and like how the mortgage business works. That enabled me, I would say, to in turn to get the MRICS qualification because of that. And also PNB has helped me in understanding other parts of mortgage industry as we know that as a valuation professional we are just a cog in the machine, I would say. So that enabled me to get to know into the other fields like we as a supporting field valuation and also the legal team is there, so we also get to know a bit about their work, that what they are working on and how can we like as a valuation professional benefit from the legal advice, how can we a valuation professional benefit from any fraud control or any credit like credit analysis. So that has helped me into like getting into the more details about any client or in the valuation of any property or immovable assets as well. So with that experience, I was able to get into the MR, I was able to appear for my APCs. That was my major part. That the banking experience helped me into that, and after that, it like helped me in my final interviews as well because there are processes kept by the bank And those processes, if they're like everything is as per the process, as per the first time right scenario, so it helps to explain. So it enabled me to like get a good approach in my interviews, and even my even I would say in my final which in my final report as well.
Sure. So when once you have been through this, you have attained the qualification.
Sure, sir.
How did it work for you? And did you saw any probably short term and long term benefits after achieving the qualification?
Yes, sir. Actually, I did. I am graduate. Like I got my qualification in I guess the end of the October. So after that, I started like being more active on like media, like LinkedIn, and also I had a very good interaction with people at LinkedIn. So I had a good network. So I was pretty much like advised by people about different places I can be. And for example, like I recently have transitioned from my bank job to a valuation, like full on valuation job at Reliant. So this was also due to that. As we know, like Middle East, for like if we sum it up, Middle East is very big in anything European, like anything, any certification which is European, Middle East wants it. So it's a very big field here. Valuation is a very celebrated field, I would say, and with all the international standards and every other all the amenities are being kept in consideration here. So it was a good exposure for me to like step up on the ladder and like get into a job here in Middle East.
Good. So essentially, you're recommending or saying that qualification actually helped you to grow in the career and up the
Yes.
ladder, and especially
Yeah.
a transition from probably India region and a North India region, and you have been finally working at abroad. Probably that was one of the areas you wanted to be at. So I would. Sorry, you were saying something.
No, no, sir. Yeah, please continue.
So I would like to open the stage for the audience, the students and the people from the industry who might have joined. I would, ask the audience to try and use the chat window, or if they want to speak up, raise, they if they have any queries, if they have any questions, please feel free to put it up, and we will try and answer those queries, because a lot of concerns are around what is the best time to get into the qualification. Should we when should we register for a trainee membership? What are the CPD hours? How the pathway is to be selected? So open to you guys. Feel free to ask questions. So let's take another few minutes for people to come up. Guys, please use this platform to ask your questions. So we have hand raised by a couple of people. So Prerak, over to you. You may want to unmute and ask your question. So okay,
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
yeah.
Hi.
Uh, Being a CPM student, I have not much idea about what chartered survey valuers are to do. So, can you please explain what we will experience if we are opting for the uh, job related to chartered?
Uh, it is not audible, my river. What?
So your voice was not clear, Prerak. I think you are referring that you are a CPM student and you do not have much clarity on some area. So could you please talk about that?
Okay, so like I am assuming that you are saying that you are a CPM student and you want to get into valuations, and in the process you also want to gain your chartered surveying qualification. If this is what I'm assuming the question was. So
Yes,
I
sir.
would, yeah, okay. So what I would say is there are like you must be very like which region are you from, if I may ask? Which state?
Uh, Gujarat, sir.
Okay. So the thing is, I would suggest you if you want to get into the valuation field, get into touch with regional valuers of Gujarat. So what they will enable you is you'll get a initial experience of like 6 months to a year you can take. You can be their like technical manager, you can be their surveyor. So you can handle business for them. So what that will enable you to do is you can understand it from the ground up. That is what I would say basically helped me. That I was visiting properties, I was making the reports, I was interacting with people in different banks, so that gave me a perspective. So it was a very similar situation for me as well because like valuation is a very like very guarded and kept to close course. Yeah. So what this will enable you is to get into touch with different bankers in your area, different like you will get to know how the process works, how you can talk to them about the valuations because this what I'm talking about is the back end of valuation. You are making the reports, you are doing the surveys. You are not like upfront with the dealing with the client. You are dealing with the bank. So this will enable you to know all the workarounds. When you know how the machine works, how the process works, you can go ahead and like I would say take up a more client facing job that will enable you to explain it better to them. And it is like trust me, like as you are a CPM student, you must know more about planning, you must know more about handling different like giving stages to different works at like any building or so. So that will enable you to do a better job as a valuer. That is what I would suggest you to do.
Sure, thank you. And
Thank you, sir.
the
Yep.
next hand I see is raised by Anik. Apart from that, there are quite a few questions on the chat, so I'll take them later on. So, Anik, please go ahead and ask your question.
Hi, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Hello, my friend. Yeah.
Yes, sir. My question is like uh,
Mhm.
in domestic situation, internationally, RICS holds a very good position. But
Yeah.
what will be our advantage after gaining MRICS in domestic
Okay.
situation or domestic
So
arena?
you,
Yes.
you want to ask that whether we are at advantage when we gain this certification in India, right?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Okay. So the thing is, as like now banks are, you must know there are two different financial institutions working for mortgage. I am going to talk about mortgages because I am from that background. So please bear with me on that. Don't be like, why is he only talking about mortgages? So the thing is that what that will help you is because as norms are getting tighter, every NBFC, every bank are getting tighter norms by their like be it RBI, be it National Housing Bank. So they are tightening their norms because of the risk coming into the field. You might know about you might know the cases of DHFL, how DHFL went on to do the business and finally like it tanked. You must know about that. So these things, these case studies are making the our industry back in India to go into stricter norms. You must know about the Ministry of Corporate Affairs Valuer Bill. I'm sure you might know about that. So what that bill is, that bill will in all its force if when it comes to like where it gets into the field, so it will enable all the international valuation standards to be put up. So you can in any valuations you do for bank, when like this is when the whole structure becomes complete, I am sure. So you can quote the international structure and that will help us a lot because as everybody knows, like regional valuers right now are at the biggest advantage in India because they know the region. Center valuers need to like extract that, and that is where this will be a bigger field for us, and this certification will certainly help.
Sir, now the valuers, if they want to practice, they have to pass an examination of IBBI, Insolvency Bankruptcy Board of India.
Right.
And in the same time, valuers will also is going to come in India very soon. So
Exactly.
mm, and so how MRICs will be helping? So IBBI is like now mandatory kind of thing. So
If you have like, I have read the executive summary of that bill. So what that bill says, as you might know, RICS head in business development, Mr. Nitin Kapoor, I assume. Sir, am I right? I might not know the name correctly. So
Right,
he
right, you're
is,
right there.
yeah. So Nitin sir is really active with the Ministry of Corporate Affairs and their drafting of the valuer bill. RICS and American Society of Appraisers, I guess these two are the only certifications which will be given some advantage, given like when going into the, like there will be a new, like whole new process by Ministry of Corporate Affairs from what I have seen. So there will be like designation provided to you, so these will automatically, I hope these will automatically let you qualify to that certification as well, and you'll have to take, I guess, minimal classes for that, provided you have the experience.
yes, and sir, one more question, like what is means if we talk about the certifications of American Society of Appraisers and Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyors, so in ASA and MRICS, so
Mhm.
is there any basic difference between them? And like only the certifications, it is from, one is from USA and one is from UK. That's the major difference.
For here, I would comment is RICS is RICS certification is more an advantage in I guess India, Australia, Europe, Middle East, and like these are like, if you take a ratio between the number of people having MRICS and number of people going into the appraiser one, so it's a huge like RICS has a huge support group for that. But yes, there are differences because plant and machinery, I would say plant and machinery and other parts that I don't know about. But for real estate, I would say RACS has a lead on that. Like here in Middle East also, it's leading on that.
Okay, thank you
Mhm.
very much.
Yeah.
So Ayush, another questions, few of the questions which are coming from chat. I'll take it up for you. So it
Surely.
says, uh, is asset management services or are asset management services and valuation services similar?
Uh, I would say no exactly, because asset management is also a very diverse field. So in asset management, let's first like categorize what we do in valuation and what we do in asset management. So in asset management, what you will be doing is you will be given, I guess, like an asset to, so that you'll get an asset, and for that asset you have to manage all the cash flows, manage all the ins and outs, manage all the tenants, so that the cash flow stays positive and as per the market. So that research is common between valuation and I guess asset management. That research, that what is the average rent going on, what is the leasable area we can do. So these things are common, but valuation is more of a reporting service. We report to the client and the client makes the decisions. In asset management, you are the responsible authority to make the decisions. So I guess this is the difference between both.
Sure.
Yeah.
So the next question says, being a fresher after graduation and doing an MBA, how did you recognize that you want to pursue a career in valuation?
Because I had some seniors who were pursuing valuation as their like, because you know what happens about, about like after civil engineering, people are into site execution and stuff. I trained as a site engineer for like 6 months in my bachelor's. So I was like, I don't want to do this. It was very clear for me. Like as people, with all due respect, with all the people who are and who have been doing site execution, it's a very taxing job. So, so I wanted to get into more of a management field. So that's why I went into the MBA. And after that, there were options. I was also looking into sales, but after a while, I realized that sales might not be the field for me. So I went for valuations.
Sure. So there is another question, and I'll take a question from Ashish as well. So this one says, when does the planning or preparation for MRICS should start as a fresher? And that's, I think, is a popular question. I see four lights there.
Yes, exactly. Uh, so this would say where I would have to comment on where you are right now, because where you are right now is where I would suggest you can start it. So first, let's take it to the student point of view. Like if you are a student, recent graduate, getting into the business. So I would recommend test the waters first. Like if you are like I myself like I went into sales field as well. So I didn't like it, and I came back from that. I looked into some fields as well, but valuation was what like sticked with me. I was like, I can do this, and I can like really grow in this, because everyone's aptitude is different, and as we are freshers, it's not that big of a deal to try some things and like not like it. It's going to happen. So there are challenges in every field, but if you are comfortable with dealing with the challenges, you like what you do, I would say start it right away. That will be my suggestion on that.
Right. So again, to add on to that, you again, it is recommended to start it right away after your graduation, and in the due course, if you see that your pathway, what you have
Yeah,
selected, and your
exactly.
experience is not going in line, you have an option to change in the midway in the due course. So you should have a added advantage. The sooner you start, the sooner you complete, and that's the advantage that you get.
Yeah, to be very honest, it's 2 years. Like for 2 years, you will be in training. So if the initial 2 3 months you are wishing to change it, or you have not, it's okay. Like I guess it's acceptable, right, sir?
Sorry. So what do you asked in terms of acceptable?
Like it is acceptable to like move into different pathways, right? In
Oh
first,
yes.
first initial times, yeah.
In fact, if you realize that you wanted probably you selected valuation, let's take an example, and by the end of 1 year you realize that neither your experience or interest are in line, or probably you are not interested in
Yeah,
valuation anymore, and you want to shift into
exactly.
project management.
Project
You
management.
have option to change that.
Yeah, right. Okay.
So there is another question I'll take from the chat before going to Ashish. It says, being a fresher, and again that's coming from a person who is doing an architect and a real estate. I'm not sure if you'll be able to address that in totality, but a broader area you can cover. So it says, being a fresher with an architect background and from a RUI MBA, how should I map my road for infrastructure valuation?
Okay, you are talking about the whole portfolios, if I am getting it right, because infrastructure valuations are something I would say used by governments and used by like bigger companies to make decisions. So you want to chart your route into that. So I would say go into corporate valuations first. Like try to get into corporate valuations. Try to manage things, because corporate is it at itself it's a very huge thing. To like you would like currently you will find introductory jobs for only retail. I have seen, and so it's mostly for retail. So I would suggest get into retail, get some initial experience, and get into the corporate world on that, because corporate world, the valuation at corporate is huge, and that only that attribute relates to the infrastructure, so you can like diversify into that as well. Again, I'm not very not very sure about the infrastructure field in that.
Sure. So, Ashish, over to you with your question.
Yes.
Good afternoon, Ayush. This is Ashish.
Hi. Hi, Ashish.
So I have basic experience in valuation, in retail valuation, and I just
Uh,
wanted to know how should I path my career ahead, and how's the Dubai valuation is different from Indian valuation, because I want to give interview for that, so that will be the basic question they'll be asking. So if you can just give me some insights about.
Okay, right. So, may I ask, like, which firm do you have experience from, if it's okay?
Uh, I've worked for Black Olive Ventures under Sunil sir. I've worked
Uh,
as a client, taken a valuation for PNB.
I didn't quite get it. Can you please say that again?
I worked for Black Olive Ventures and also done
That
for
works.
valuation for
Okay.
PNB.
Okay.
Yeah,
So I am guessing that your experience has been in retail, right?
right, sir.
Retail. Okay. So for answering how is it different from what we do in India? So to be very honest, valuation is never different. Like all the methods and approaches are the same how we use it. Just the market is, I would say, semi like, India's market in real estate is not that transparent. So here it's better than that, really good in some aspects, because you get research data, you can quote very well developed research data, you can quote even the government data on that. They also publish it, I guess monthly they publish it. So it's very mature in that. Like for the value proposition, it's very mature, and it's as you might know, if you would have handled like properties which are non-NCR properties, that there is a very big identification issue. There is a very big issue with the legal aspect. So because and valuer has to be like educated on that. It's not like that here. It's but the portfolios and the, if I would say, the individual assignments are huge. It's much bigger than what we do there, I would say. And also, like you asked about the, if I'm right, you asked about the career progression, like how can we like get into the international market? Is that right?
Yes, sir.
So for that, I am going to, like, I would say, try to know more about the market you want to get into. Like as much as you can like get the information, get all the like, because market information is there on the internet. And to be very honest, that is the key to getting into any market you want to get into. So, like for example, Dubai's own market is very there. The market research by any big company, like even Reliant itself, does their own research. So these things you can get into the research. You can read the reports. You can make your own opinions about it. Okay, that this area has been declining. This area is increasing. Why is that? You can even ask some people from the region, why is that happening? So that will give you a initial idea about the place, because it's very structured. The research part is really structured, and you if you are doing valuations there, you might be very impressed with it, that okay, this amount of research we are getting to make decisions and like giving a good report. So that will certainly help.
Sure. So,
Thank you, sir.
another question from the chat. It says, "What are
Mhm.
the what are the skills or strength essential to be a valuer, and what did you like more about valuation as compared to sales?" So let's divide it into the two sections or two questions. First one says, "What are the skills or strength essential to be a valuer?"
For being a valuer, I would say knowing about the purpose of the valuation and what the client is asking from you, and like what is your analysis telling you, and decision making between it is the essential factor, I would say. Like you have to be like, because in India, if you work into the field, it can sometimes get intimidating. The valuations can get intimidating. That so we should for anything we do, we should not be like this that we do not have enough information, or we are not working from the best perspective of the advisory we can give to the client. So that is something we need to watch out, that if in any case you are not able to give a good advice, that you are unsure about something, you should get into touch with the client and let them know, or get a secondary uh, advice with the permission of the client, so that will enable you to like better your advice and also your learnings, I would say. So decision making, I would say, is one of the primary factors, and also you should be good at Excel. Excel should be is a very good tool. I would say learn everything you can do in financial analysis through Excel, and that is going to help you massively in this.
Sure. And the second part was, what did you like more about valuation compared to sales?
Okay, I would say sales is more of a target-based job. So it was not very like for an initial, because I worked on it like I didn't work on it for a very long time. But the sales part is for a fresher is very intimidating. You have to bring in numbers. So bringing in numbers, it's something you have to manage the whole network, and there is that. So I was actually at the start of it, so I'm not going to comment on how it went, but I was not very sure about that. I want to do this further. So, but there are certain people, like I have a couple of friends who are doing great in sales. So those people have graduated and like went into the luxury segment of sales in Delhi itself. So so these people, so that is what the aptitude of a person is like. If your aptitude is toward a different thing, you will be good at that. Like my friend, he is very good at sales, so he is thriving in it, and he's like he doesn't want to switch or anything. So that was not the same thing for me. So I went into valuation and I liked it because because what we do is we report to the client, and we help them make better decisions. We help them to know about, like, they know about the property, like how is it worth, what is the impact on their asset about the recent changes. And everybody might know about the, like, how the COVID has impacted the market. So similarly, it has impacted our valuations, impacted all the cash flows. So and that's why it's all new. So it changes. Everything changes in a way. So keeping that in mind is a very good thing in valuation. Yeah.
Sure. Thank you. And there is another question. I think, people are quite interested in this chat and the talk. There are a lot of questions which are coming in. So it says, what are the few softwares or probably tools that person can learn which will be helpful in the valuation industry? So you mentioned Excel. What are other few which we can use?
Okay, I cannot stress that enough, that Excel, how needed is Excel in valuations. You are going to do in everything in that. For how complicated the property gets, more complicated your model gets. So you need to be comfortable with bigger models if you want to get into the like corporate valuation field. And with retails, it's not that big. It's just a couple of properties. It's just a complex. It's not like that. But for a bigger picture, I would suggest go into the bigger models. Like if you don't get a bigger model for, I would say, um, corporate valuations or something big, you can also look into the business valuation part and learn from it, because sometimes business valuations you can learn a lot from it. So that must should be your primary. Or also, if you can get in, there are various valuation softwares being used. Like you might know about Argus software, you might know about other things, and also there are few, like, because market is not that developed. There are few things like how are we using the geo coordinates, how can we like ensure better reporting. So these things which like softwares can enable you. Also you can learn CAD is also very good for reporting the inspection part, for making any details you might give want to give to the client, you want to give to the seniors for decision making. So that is also a very good factor to go in, I would say.
Sure. And then there is another question. Again, it's essentially comparison in terms of remuneration that a person may get. So it says, how comparable is it in the aspect of remuneration with MRICS project management? So the question is a bit unclear. So Vinay, would you articulate it well, if you can talk about it?
It's about the
Yes, sir. Sure. Sir, good afternoon. Am I audible, sir?
hi, yeah, you are.
Yes, sir. Sir, what I was about to ask is like, if
Uh-huh.
I do, if I take up the pathway of project management and become an MRICS,
Okay.
or if I take the on the other side, if I take up the path of valuation and become MRICS, and
Mm-hmm.
what is the comparison between the both MRICS fellows in the aspect of remuneration and any other
Okay.
benefit to the valuation
So
pathway, sir?
here it is, the big question about the remuneration. Yeah. So actually, the thing what I would tell you is these like I first of all comparing project management with valuation will be like comparing apple and oranges, because we are looking at very different fields of management, I would say. Because I am making somebody like, if I am a valuer and I am valuing something, so I am making helping somebody make financial decisions on that. A project management achiever might be more into the like workarounds and will be more hands on with the civil field. So if you are like, I would first say like it's not that big of a difference. I would say if I compare it experience wise, like if I have 3 years of experience and somebody who is in MRICS and who is also in project management, there I guess there are many from Amity as well. So I would not say that there is a big difference, but yes, it depends on the like it depends on a lot of factors, I would say. Like for which company are you working for and which role are you working for. So it will finally boil down to that. But uh, for like with my own humble opinion, valuation gives you a very entrepreneurial mindset to go on, because like you can branch out after a while. So that is also available for you. So I would leave it at that, because the remuneration part is the one which is the most tricky in any field, I would say.
So I'll take it up and try and understand it in a way that he is thinking, and it's a different way that he's articulating. So Vinay, with that question, I what I see is that you are trying to identify that you have both the options open and available to you, and what you are looking at is where should I invest my energies and efforts into, so that I could actually get a better rate, return on investments in terms of your money, your efforts, your resources, skills, and so on. So I would recommend go with what you are passionate about, instead of going into or thinking into what pays you well, because if a job pays you well and if you are not enjoying it, you will not sustain it for a longer time. So
Exactly.
better go with what interests you, and if you are able to achieve the highest qualification or a professional certification or a chartered qualification with it, nothing like it, you will be at the at par with the highest industry standards in terms of remuneration, and any other elements related to that. So I hope that would address the exact need of asking that question.
Yep. Right.
Yes, it's partly addressed. Thank you very much.
Sure. So there is another question, I think we will be able to take that as a final question, because we are almost around the time. So this says, Ayush, it says for you that you mentioned about the business valuation and corporate valuation. How are they different from each other?
When I am commenting on corporate valuations, I'm not getting into the, like, let's divide it as per the assets. So business, anything valuing the business will have all the intangible assets of the business as well, all the workings, all the assets own, all the immovable assets own. So from for a business valuation, it's a whole portfolio. So when I'm talking about corporate valuation, I am talking about real estate, like where real estate corporate valuation is. So that differs from the retail as per, because corporate clients get very tailor-made financial decision making. They have different packages from the retail clients. So, like for example, with corporate evaluation, if I may, any builder getting seeking a loan from a financial institution will go for a corporate evaluation, real estate, because it's a whole portfolio for him for just the real estate part, because the only the immovable asset will be valued, but the business valuation will go into more of a, like, it will be more wholesome and requires more of an analysis, I would say. Yep.
Sure, thank you so much. And I see that the chat window has dried, and again, we are almost at the time wherein we scheduled or we anticipated the session would be required to. So, guys, any final questions before we wrap up this session? Anyone, if they want to, come in and unmute the mic and talk about it.
Surely.
So essentially, I understand that you should now have a fair understanding of, why the qualification is important. What is the time that you need to, enter into it and try and preparing for it. There is a two years of training period which is required for you. Sooner you get into it, the better for you it is. You have an option to change the fields. There is a quite enough, or I would say enormous opportunities both within India and outside India. And again, here here we have Ayush with us, who is a the best example that he was working with a company in India, and then once he has completed his qualification, he had an opportunity to work with someone who is a better opportunity was there knocking his doors. He's now working with Reliant in Dubai, and again, there is a plethora of opportunities which will come in his way down the line in future. So, that's a live example for you to understand. Things really work well when you invest on yourself and get the right or achieve the right set of qualification and credentials which matters in the organization. The qualification MBA makes you reach at a certain level at a certain place, but to grow further, and and that's relevant for all the courses or skills qualification, I would say. A regular increment in terms of your learning and continuous improvement is required, be it you are in any of the field. And if you are having the right set of qualification with you, or the professional certification, that would help you grow up the ladder. So, Dr. Sonali, may I please request you for a vote of thanks? Sonali, you are mute.
Sorry for that. Thank you so much, Nitin. Indeed, it's a privilege and honor to have our students who were once with us, and it's really glad to see when they achieve so much in their life. And Ayush Gerola is one of our student from 16, 19, 18 batch. Is that right, Ayush?
Yes, ma'am, right.
Yes, so it is really honor for us, and it's a moment of pride when our students who learned with us, who grew with us, and when they go up in they climb the ladder of success, and they come back to share from where they received. The circle is completed. So Ayush, for you, I believe the circle has come to completion when what you received from our ICSSB Noida. Again, you're coming back, not only giving it to Noida campus students, but also sharing it with the Mumbai campus students. Thank you so much, Ayush, for being with us. We are aware that you are quite busy, but from that busy schedule, you could give your lunch time for us to share your knowledge, to interact with our students. And this is a great incubation for our students to learn from the students who have passed out, who are experiencing different changing trends in the market. and you're coming back and sharing. Thank you so much for your valuable time. Indeed, it's a pride for us and very happy for you. And we wish you all the very best for your future endeavors. God bless you. And also, we thank Nitin Gandhi, sir, for making this happen. He's been coordinating with all our alumni and he ensures that the alumni and our existing students have a good rapport and a contact, and there's some kind of bridge established. His efforts are actually becoming fruitful these days. We have so many people coming and sharing their thoughts last week as well. I take this platform, sorry Nitin, but I want to thank you on this platform that last week as well we had alumni from Noida campus. They were females who have made created their mark in the industry, and they shared their journey, how they are faring well in the industry. So this could happen because of Nitin Gandhi. Thank you, Nitin sir, so much for your efforts, and wish you all the best, Mr. Ayush Gerola, and hope to see you in person as well very soon at Mumbai campus. Thank you
Surely.
so much. Thank you, students, for being attentive and asking questions too.
Thank you, Sonali, and thank you, Ayush, and thank you everyone for joining us today.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having me. Thank you. Bye bye.
Take care. Bye bye.
Thank you.